Take A, Q anchors.
Welcome, Las Vegas, to this Thursday's edition of Studio G. I'm Christy Zarpis.
And I'm Chelsea Bangle. We start today with these breaking news headlines.
Roll B, take B.
U.S. Ambassador Mark Lippert was slashed on the face and wrist by a man holding a knife in South Korea. The U.S. State Department condemned the act of violence, which happened at a venue in a performing arts center in downtown Seoul as the ambassador was preparing for a lecture. It is reported that the suspect has been identified as 55-year-old Kim Ki-young. Lippert's injuries have been reported as non-life-threatening. He was taken to the hospital where he received 80 stitches. He is said to be in good spirits.
Okay, roll C, switch audio, take C. Okay, take 2, switch audio, Q talent.
Welcome, Las Vegas, to this Thursday's edition of Studio G. I'm Christy Zarpis.
And I'm Chelsea Bangle. We start today with these breaking news headlines.
Take 3, Q talent.
U.S. Ambassador Mark Lippert was slashed on the face and wrist by a man holding a knife in South Korea. The U.S. State Department condemned the act of violence, which happened at a venue in a performing arts center in downtown Seoul, as the ambassador was prepared for a lecture. It is reported that the suspect has been identified as 55-year-old Kim Ki-young. Lippert's injuries have been reported as non-life-threatening. He was taken to the hospital where he received 80 stitches. He is said to be in good spirits.
Take 1, Q talent.
We also have another update on ISIS. A 17-year-old Virginia student has been charged with helping recruit for ISIS. The teen was taken into custody last week. Prosecutors are seeking to charge him as an adult but have currently charged him as a juvenile. It has been reported that investigators have spent more than a month watching this teen and his home before he was arrested. The teen is also accused of distributing ISIS messages to a network of contacts.
Take 3, Q talent.
In local news, 3 people are dead after a shooting at the Broadstone apartment complex on the west side of the valley. The only survivor is the gunman, who remains in critical condition. Police said they don't know what set off the 21-year-old male. When officers arrived, they found all 3 of the victims on the floor. 1 woman died on the scene while the other 2 died at the hospital. Neighbors reported hearing anywhere from 8 to 10 gunshots along with screaming.
Take 1, Q talent.
A developing story out in Oxnard has uncovered the cause of what really happened in the train crash that injured almost 30 people. We bring you more details on the accident that happened last week.
Roll D, take D, keep reading. Bring in PGC, keep reading.
The accident turned deadly when 62-year-old Glenn Steele passed away in the hospital as a result from the crash. The driver responsible for leaving his truck on the track that caused the accident belonged to Jose Alejandro Sanchez Ramirez.
Switch audio, take A.
There's a thought with Mr. Steele's family, thought that he could be involved in something that could lead to the loss of life. It was hard for him to emotionally deal with.
Roll B, take B, Q, switch audio,
It
Q talent.
says he accidentally drove on the track after trying to make a turn on 5th Street from Rice Street. He later ditched his truck, leaving it on the track when he saw the train coming his way. Now Ramirez could be facing stiffer charges on an accident that officials hope to monitor in the future.
Roll C, switch audio, take C.
Just to consider more charges than we would have considered before, but it's too early to tell, what charges might be appropriate.
We're hoping that hopefully this will be the last step. This will be lost on allows at that intersection. They've known for quite some time now that it's a dangerous intersection, and we've had now multiple losses of life at the same location. I think it's time for the city to take some proactive action and stop the problem from never occurring again.
Switch audio, take 1, Q talent.
Ramirez was arrested earlier this week but was released without any charges. More investigation needs to be completed, making a formal filing decision on the case, according to the Ventura County District Attorney's Office.
Take 3, Q talent.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu addresses both houses of Congress this weekend, but without the invitation of former President Obama. This controversial speech followed the AIPAC policy conference in Washington, D.C., where UNLV students lobbied our Nevada representatives.
Traveled to the nation's capital over the weekend to lobby Nevada state representatives with AIPAC. After the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, deliberates for a better strategy in a nuclear deal with Iran, the students and thousands of AIPAC members from across the states joined their representatives to lobby for a better deal.
I feel a profound obligation to speak to you about an issue that could well threaten the survival of my country and the future of my people. Iran's quest for nuclear weapons.
Protesters gather in front of the AIPAC policy conference in Washington, D.C. this weekend, but they weren't there protesting the current deal. Instead, they're just against AIPAC's initiative to strengthen the U.S. and Israel relationship. The Prime Minister doesn't seem that threatened, though.
Israel and the United States will continue to stand together because America and Israel are more than friends. We're like a family. We're practically mishpucha. Now, disagreements in the family are always uncomfortable. But we must always remember that we are family.
Nancy Pelosi gives her opinion.
I went, I listened, I was disappointed.
But Obama does not seem that moved either.
The Prime Minister didn't offer any viable alternatives. Let's wait until there's actually a deal on the table that Iran has agreed to, at which point everybody can evaluate it. We don't have to speculate.
Netanyahu and Israel supporters continue to fight for the safety of Israel. For Studio G, I'm Dina Banning.
50 congressmen and women did not attend Netanyahu's speech on Tuesday, but many who did are in roaring support of the revamping deal for a nuclear Iran. Coming up after the break, your national news with Monica Medrano.
Nearly 3,000 abused and neglected children live in foster care in Clark County because they cannot live safely at home. The CASA program is here to help these children live in safe, permanent homes. By volunteering with CASA, you can make a difference by becoming the voice for these children. Apply now at CASALasVegas.org.
I really like dance club today, and football is my second favorite. We take kids on hikes, we take them to the preserve, we take them on career exploration field trips. So they're going everywhere in our city and our community to see what is out there for them. What we want for the kids in our programs is the same you want for your own kids. To learn more about the program,
switch audio, take 5, viewer.
Welcome back from the break. My name is Monica Medrano, and I'm here to fill you in on this week's national news. The Ferguson Police Department is under investigation after a report released Tuesday showed a pattern of practice of racial discrimination. The Justice Department's Civil Rights Investigation notes that 88% of cases that documented use of force were against African Americans. Although this group makes up 67% of Ferguson's population, they also accounted for 85% of drivers stopped by police. The review also indicated that African Americans were twice as likely to be searched by police, yet 26% less likely to actually possess contraband.
Now, as detailed in what I will call our searing report, and it is searing, also released by the Justice Department today, this investigation found a community that was deeply polarized, a community where deep distrust and hostility often characterized interactions between police and area residents, a community where local authorities consistently approached law enforcement not as a means for protecting public safety, but as a way to generate revenue, a community where both policing and municipal court practices were found to be disproportionately harmful to African American residents.
Looks like the Department of Homeland Security won't be running out of money anytime soon, or at least not until September. The new bill passed with 267 votes and now only awaits President Obama's signature. Tension on Capitol Hill bubbled throughout last week, with the House and Senate butting heads and bouncing off bills that would only last a mere few weeks. Homeland Security Secretary Jay Johnson praised the vote in an email to employees and said that in the end, Congress voted out of bipartisan confidence in the department.
We are reforming the way we manage the department. We are filling all the senior level vacancies. We are improving our responsiveness to Congress. We are strengthening border security. We are advancing cybersecurity. We are rebuilding the Coast Guard fleet. We are improving the immigration system. We are reforming the Secret Service and doing a number of other things to improve the department and Homeland Security.
After almost 2 years since the deadly blast at the Boston Marathon finish line, trial is underway for Dzhokhar Tsarnaev. Yesterday, the jurors were told by Tsarnaev's attorney that his client did admit to playing a role in the bombing, but that he was heavily influenced by his brother. The prosecution reminded the jury of the bomber's ultimate goal, which was to kill as many people as possible. If convicted, Tsarnaev faces 30 federal counts, 12 of which include the death penalty. That's all the news from around the nation. Stay tuned for more Studio G.
Thank you for the update, Monica.
Las Vegas currently ranks as the 13th most dangerous place in the nation for pedestrians. A public forum was held at Cambridge Community Center to discuss possible solutions. Reporter Mandy Massa tells us more.
13 pedestrian deaths on Nevada roadways so far this year, 12 of those occurring in Clark County. A growing problem that can't be ignored, there were over 70 pedestrian deaths in the state last year.
Traffic laws are important. We take too much focus on some of these more serious violent crimes, but the thing is, the sad tragedy about all this is people are making mistakes, and these mistakes are leading to people losing their life.
The Nevada Department of Transportation has dedicated almost $10 million to improving pedestrian safety conditions, and more than half will be used to fund projects in Clark County specifically.
Switching it to the LED heads. In some cases, if it's seen that the one arm is not enough, we'll add in a second arm to increase the lighting at the intersection.
And there's also a new bill being introduced to lawmakers that aims to reduce the number of pedestrian deaths by designating pedestrian safety zones, where fines will double for infractions.
When we remind them that the cost for getting caught behaving badly increases, they see that happening to themselves. So we think it's going to be quite effective.
Sherry Bush's son was killed while attempting to cross the street in 2013. Now Bush advocates for pedestrian safety by leading community forums such as the one held here in Clark County last week. When attendees were asked if they've ever almost been hit by a car while crossing the street, nearly all of them raised their hands.
If you are not aware of your surroundings in 360 degrees, and you let your guard down and underestimate your own vulnerability, they will get you here.
But will improving pedestrian road conditions be enough to solve the problem? Is it simply the drivers who are being careless, or is it pedestrians as well?
No one ever thinks it's going to be them. They're not going to be the driver that hits somebody, or they're not going to be the pedestrian or the bicyclist that gets hit.
Just remember, even though you're utilizing a crosswalk, you have to give consideration to that vehicle, because every time that vehicle will win, even if they're in the wrong.
Reporting for Studio G, I'm Mandy Massa.
The new bill is still in its earliest stages, but the $6 million pedestrian safety grant has already been given to Clark County. Improvements like more crosswalks and better lighting are already underway. Wow, I can't believe we're the 13th most dangerous state in pedestrian safety.
I know, especially being on campus, we are walking a lot of the time. It's very discouraging to know that our safety is,
in danger. But at least we have those light up signs to let us pass. Other places, they just have those crosswalks, and a lot of people don't see people crossing the street.
Very unfortunate. UNLV's doing a great job with that, but I think we need to help it out around Clark County.
Coming up after the break, Dina Banning sits down with UNLV's Multicultural Greek Council President, George Corral. Stay tuned.
The show is Jazz and a Touch of Soul. The show consists of basically jazz and a little soul music and pulling in a little chill music too. A lot of Greeks out of the UK. My style of music will help you open your mind more and open your ears to other sounds and other kinds of music. The name of the show is Jazz and a Touch of Soul. I'm Langston Carter, your host, every Saturday morning from 8 until 10 on rebelhd2.com.
Switch audio, take B.
Welcome back from the break. I'm here with Jorge Corral. He's the current president of the Multicultural Greek Council here at UNLV. Thanks for coming and joining us today. How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing good. It's been a long day so far.
Awesome. Okay. Well, can you tell us a little bit about the Multicultural Greek Council?
The council, it consists of 11 organizations in total. It's 5 fraternities, 6 sororities, and we're also looking into a new sorority. But what it is, it's just a bunch of people coming together, trying to raise awareness to the diversity here at UNLV and trying to make sure that people know more about being multicultural and being embracing other cultures while embracing your culture as well.
Very nice. So are there any events that you guys will be throwing on campus? What's the next semester look like?
So far for this semester, we're looking into doing a lot of community service with Habitat for Humanity because we want to become more united as a council. So we believe that doing service together, doing community service, brings us united because we're all working towards the same goal. We do, at the end of the semester, we always have a graduation ceremony for all the people who are graduating this semester. So we're having that, and we're looking into maybe partnering with some other councils that are under OSED. But so far for this semester, that's what we have.
So will that just be your council, or is that going to include, you said there's 6 sororities and 5 fraternities? Will you be encouraging them to also participate in Habitat for Humanity?
Under Habitat for Humanity, it's going to be everybody at the council. So it's going to be everybody from all the different organizations that are going to come in. We're all going to try to serve Habitat for Humanity. So build a house because that's what they do. Paint the house. Work with their restore store. But right now we're looking into because we want to get together and become united as a unit. So the biggest thing is doing community service together, and that's why everybody's going to be invited. Of course, everybody else, not including just our council, is going to be invited. Anybody who wants to come is more than welcome. But our biggest goal is to make sure that people in our council get together and we do community service together.
That's awesome. So Multicultural Greek Council is very different from, let's say, IFC and PHC, right?
Yeah.
How exactly is it different?
We'll start off, PHC is only sororities and IFC is only fraternities. We have a combination of both. We have different values in a way, but this semester what we're looking into is becoming united as a whole. There's 4 councils in total for Greek life, and we want to make sure that we all come united and we're all one unit instead of working towards different things. It's better if we all come together and make UNLV a great Greek life community.
So you mentioned earlier that there is a new sorority coming to campus. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, we have a new interest sorority called Alpha Kappa Delta Phi. They're an Asian-based sorority. So it's kind of we have another Asian-based sorority on campus, Alpha Phi Gamma, and they're excited to work together. Their mascot's a phoenix. They do a lot of community service. They're the only international Asian-based sorority. So they have a campus, I believe, in Canada. They have a chapter in Canada. So they want to come to Vegas because they know how diverse we are, and we have a big base under the Asian community. So hopefully they came in this semester, and we're looking for them to start next semester, hopefully.
Awesome. That's exciting. Now what about
the new fraternity, right, that just colonized on campus?
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about that one?
They colonized about 2 semesters ago, I believe, and then they're actually a chapter now.
Okay.
Pi Alpha Phi, and they call them pineapples. They're Asian-based fraternity as well. Pineapples, yeah. But they're really good. I love the guys there. You know, they're looking to start off strong. Their new lines, their new prospective members have been like really good in the community and doing a lot more community service. So it's a great adjustment and addition to the council.
Great. So when exactly is recruitment going to be for multicultural?
Multicultural started, and I think it's about to end. We don't have an actual specific date like IFC and PHC. We kind of just, wherever fraternity and sorority whenever they choose is best, that's when we do it. But next fall, it's definitely going to start within the first week of school.
Great. Excellent. Thank you so much for joining us
You're
today.
welcome.
And that's all the time we have for you today. Coming up after the break, we will give you the lowdown on how a priest is using a social media app for confessions. See you soon.
The Middle East, and it deals with all the issues that deal with the Middle East. Middle East is a very important part of the world. I grew up in America, and yet I'm from the Middle East. It's a commoner's viewpoint based on experience as well as scholarship. My name is Sherwin Mashuri. I'm the host of the talk show Window on the Middle East at rebelhd2.com.
Take one, switch audio.
Today marks the world's oldest person, Miso Okawa's 170th birthday. She was born on March 5th in 1898 and has been recognized in the Guinness Book of World Records as the longest living human. When asked about the secret to her longevity, Miso responded that she wonders about that too. She also made the comment that 117 years doesn't feel like such a long time.
Take it out. Take 3. Cure.
Many people use social media for different purposes, to socialize or even to get tasks done. But a San Antonio priest is offering service digitally. Reporter Ezra Maha explains more.
Switch audio. Take C.
A social media outlet that has more than 100 million monthly active users, 71% of them are under the age of 25. A mobile app that continues to add new features to keep its users busy and updated with news. Snapchat. Recently, a priest in San Antonio says he is offering confession service through Snapchat. Other faithful believers disagree with the idea.
It's not confession. It's not what the sacrament is all about.
For those who don't know how Snapchat is used, Snapchat is a photo and video messaging application where users control the recipients and the time videos and photos are viewed, which means these photos will disappear after it's viewed. I asked people how they felt about the idea. Here's what they said.
People are going to go with it, but I think the traditional way is better. You know, going to church is always better. It's the simplest way, I guess. You know, and Snapchat is kind of shady for that kind of stuff. So
Snapchat, I don't know. I just feel like people wouldn't take it as seriously.
I think it's an awesome idea. I think if you can get your confession done, then get it done. If it's through Snapchat, it's through Snapchat, but it's better than not doing it at all, I'd say, if you're really into your religion.
I think confessions should be held face to face. It's like an apology, you know.
It was reported through local news that he wants to stay anonymous, but his service will be available on the app March 2nd through the 16th. For Studio G, this is Esther Massa.
Switch audio. Take 3. Keep on.
If you own a smartphone, then you can download Snapchat. A recent update to the app now allows you to wire money to another person. It's just showing you another way how social media is changing how we do everyday tasks.
Take 1.
If you're looking for a fun evening out and was not wanting to travel to the Las Vegas Strip, the Red Rock Hotel and Casino offers locals the perfect show for you. Alyssa Stein has more.
Vegas locals know better than anyone else where to find the best entertainment in Las Vegas. That's why they have voted Zoe Bowie the Best of Las Vegas Award 4 times.
I thought this was kind of like my version of Disneyland, where most kids my age would want to go see Mickey Mouse. I wanted to come see Wayne Newton, and I did. And I loved Vegas so much that over the years, I noticed that many of the shows that I liked and the feeling of Vegas that I used to love kind of disappeared. And so, quite frankly, instead of looking for it, I decided I'm going to create it myself. And so that's why I'm in Vegas, to keep that true essence of that maverick spirit that this city is based on in the first place alive and well.
Chris Phillips, known as Zoe Bowie, has been performing for 31 years and has been catering to locals all over the Strip.
He motivates me to come up and dance on the dance floor. I mean, I usually am the one that's staying in the back. I'm super shy. I never want to go up and dance. And once he says, get out, get on the dance floor, he's saying, Uptown Funk to us by Bruno Mars. It's over.
His high voltage show with his fiancée Lydia Ansel on electric violin and singer Neve Malandra can be seen in the Ross Lounge inside the Red Rock Hotel and Casino. The trio welcome locals and never charge a cover fee.
I think that's very important to me, and I've always stood very firm on this, is that we never wanted to charge people to come to Vegas. We wanted to make this something where locals especially can come and just have a great time, give them $20 in your pocket or $2,000. It doesn't matter.
With celebrating 9 years at Red Rock Hotel and Casino, Zoe Bowie doesn't plan on going anywhere anytime soon. For Studio G, I'm Melissa Stein.
Zoe Bowie performs live on Friday nights at 10 p.m. Wow, you look very entertaining.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just kind of still stuck on that Snapchat thing. I think that it's about time I get paid for my entertaining Snapchat.
I know, it's crazy though that they started off with just pictures and now they want to use it for concessions and other things.
That's a little weird. I think that's something that should be done personally. Who knows where that's going to go? Who might be the ghost at the end of the phone? You might be the next person on Tosh Point getting made fun of.
There you go. You never know, right?
Well, thank you for tuning into today's show.
Be sure to join us tomorrow for a live magazine show. Have a great day, Las Vegas.
Audio, take 1. Roll credit. CD2. They killed your audio already. Hold on, Studio G comes up. Alright. Take out CG2. No. Static. And we're clear. Stop record.